we'll gather round, feel the love compound. Blue elephant is strong, together we
Hey guys, welcome back to
belong.
my channel. So today I want to kind of play around with if I can paint with UV resin. So I have the little, it's like phases of the moon molds and they have flowers inside. So we're going to use these molds before now. If I tried tried to make these before once last year and failed miserably, and they ended up in the trash. If you haven't seen that video, well, it was a fail, so I don't know if you really want to. But it was a whole lot of what not to do. Anyway, so I haven't touched them since then, with the exception of packing them in a box to move them to my new house. So we're gonna try it again today. But instead of doing it UV resin like I attempted to last year, I want to do it with mix to mold. And then after that's cured, see if I can paint with UV resin on top of it. Now, I know that I won't have an issue as far as it sticking and adhering to the mix to mold because resin does stick. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get blended colors and stuff like that using the UV resin that I'm going to use. Now, instead of using clear UV resin and coloring it myself with either dyes, alcohol inks, or micas, I'm going to use the already colored UV resin. That's it. Now, I do use some clear, but you'll see why a little bit later. But aside from that, I am not going to actually make my own colors at all. I'm just going to use what they have and see if I can make colors from what I've got. Now, I've got a combination of the glitter UV resins and some actual colored ones that look like, it has mica powder added into it. So that's what we're going to use. That's what we're going to see. But let's get back to what I'm doing right now. So you've already seen, I mixed up my mix to mold, and it is a 100 to 3 ratio, or 100 to 30, excuse me, ratio of powder to water. And I don't weigh it. It's done by weight. I know what the consistency is, so I just go with it. I want it a little bit thinner because these molds are insanely detailed. There are lots and lots of little parts for this stuff that it's going to have to flow through, and it's embossed, and it's just all of the things that make this project really scary because I don't have the time to wait until this is super hard to get cracking on it. I've got to get these demolded as soon as they are done curing and cross my fingers and hope for the best. If you've not used this before, this stuff is super fragile upon demold. So it takes about 30 minutes to cure. I am going to leave it in here for about 40 minutes just because these parts are so tiny. And when I demold it, I'm worried that a lot of these little pieces may break off and this project may be ruined again, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Ideally, with something like this, if you wait the full 24 hours, it'll be rock solid, and then you're not going to have to worry as much about all the little bits and pieces coming apart. But of course, with me and my procrastinating self, time is always an issue, so I don't have that kind of luxury of time to wait. Okay, so I'm topping these off, giving them a little shake, a little pat, and then we're going to let these cure and hope that I'm not going to have a really hard time demolding these and I don't just break them to bits because I don't have another idea for a video plan for today. So there's that. Now I did over pour a little bit, and here's a little bit of foreshadowing. I think that this is part of my issue because I'm just kind of scraping it off. Part of the issue of what I'm going to come up with here in a little bit. Okay, so to demold, I am flipping them upside down so that I'm trying not to put a lot of weight on the actual piece itself and trying to tease the mold out of all of these little areas. Now, this is where all of that excess mixed to mold mixture that kind of flowed into all those other areas is potentially going to be a problem. This one, however, this one came out beautifully. There is a little bit of cleanup that I'm going to have to do, and all I'm going to do for that is, because at this point it's super just, it's very easy, very frail. I can very easily just kind of poke my knife in there and get all of those pieces just to come off, or on the larger areas just kind of scrape it along with my finger, and they come off very easily. If you wait the full 24 hours, that's going to be a whole nother story, because it does get very hard. So you may have to use something like a burring tool or actually sandpaper to get those out, so it could be a little bit of an issue. So that's all done. Now it's time for the next one. Now, this one with the sunflowers is my favorite one, and you can see I already broke it. Two of the little pieces come off. I don't think that this is going to be a big issue. I think I can fix that since it's just two pieces. It should be okay. And for the third one, well, this is the only one that came out without a problem. And of course, it's probably one of my least favorite ones, but it's fine. Not much cleanup on this one, so that was ideal. Okay. Here's where it just goes horribly wrong. Now, remember when I was talking about scraping off all of that excess that I poured, and it went into all of the void parts of the mold that aren't part of the actual, like, piece? I think that played a bit of a problem in this. Now, I thought that I could potentially save this one, and I started trying to kind of put the pieces back together to see if I had all the pieces, but I couldn't figure out where it all went and if I had them all. So, yeah, that one got scrapped. And then there's this one. And this is another one that had a whole lot of overpour in those little voided areas. And I was being so very careful with it. So very careful. And it just went so very wrong. This one had a whole lot of pieces, and yeah, that was another trash one. I thought at first that maybe I could do something different with it to make it work, but no. It would have just taken way more time than honestly it would have been worth. It would have been easier just to recast it, which again, I would have the same issues, so I'm just not going to do that and waste more product. Okay, let's fix these. So, for this bit, I'm using some of the Bond Craftor UV resin in the clear, and I'm just kind of putting it a little bit on each kind of piece that got broken off, and just using it as my bonding agent to fix these little pieces that came off and put them together. Now, I'm not necessarily worried about seeing the UV resin because we're going to paint on top of it, so you're not going to see it anyway. So it's fine. I did do it on the front. I made sure I got down the sides of the crack, and I'm doing the back of the piece as well. Now, of course, me and my incredibly brilliant self, when I was trying to get the pieces to fit the right way, cracked another piece of it, and I had to fix that as well. So, yeah. Anyway, after we're done doing this, what I want to do is I'm going to start with my greens, and I'm going to kind of take a combination of each one of the greens just to see what actual colors that they really are, and kind of go from there. Now, I want to try and get shading and highlights as much as possible in this piece, and I'm not sure if that's even possible, honestly, with UV resin. And because my window sits where I get a whole lot of UV light coming through it, I can't take all the time in the world to kind of fool with it and mix colors and do it on a large scale, because it cures like super crazy fast. It starts curing in the pot and whatever, and then I've messed up quite a bit since I've been here messing around with UV resin for too long. So I'm just gonna kind of start, and then I'll mix it, start with one color, cure it, and then go over top to kind of try and add some more depth and dimension into these pieces as much as I can. Like I said, I'm not using any other colorants other than what is provided for me in these colors that came like this. Now, it is a combination, I think, of three different um like sets. Two are Lightwish. They're colored UV resins. They're both the glitter ones, and one is the one of the Teexpert, like actual with like mica powder type coloring in it. And we're just gonna go from there. So no other colors. I kind of got to go with what I've got and see what we can do. All right, at this point, I am just gonna kind of let you watch the process, and I'm gonna bounce off, and then I'm gonna come back when we're ready for the next step.
In the silver light of that crescent moon, petals whisper secrets they'll reveal soon. Dewdrops dance and glisten on a midnight bloom. Nature's theater under a starry monsoon. Half moon mystery paints the garden's face. Tulips stretching upward in a slow embrace. Lilies glow like lanterns in their quiet grace. Soft breeze whispers through this tranquil place. Full moon rising in the velvet skies. Roses blush with secrets in their cicada sighs. Jasmine scents the air where the fireflies illuminate the night with their gentle guise. In the waning moon, flowers start to fold. Their colors blend in twilight's gentle hold. Magnolias murmur stories yet untold. Nature's lullaby of beauty to behold. New moon shadows dance around the stems. Leaves like whispers hiding precious gems. In the darkest night, faith never condemns. Tomorrow blooms with moon's silver hems. Full moon rising in the velvet skies. Roses blush with secrets in their cicada sighs. Jasmine scents the air where the fireflies illuminate the night with their gentle guise.
Little fuzz balls running free in a sea of gold you see. Tiny calves with flower crowns dancing till the sun goes down. Eyes so wide they twinkle bright in the morning's early light. Tiny hooves in sunflower rows where the gentle north wind blows. Baby cows and sunflowers tall, nature's canvas we adore, playing games and having fun underneath the summer sun. Yellow skies and furry friends, joy that never seems to end, chasing shadows through the day till the twilight fades away. Heads so fluffy, hearts so pure, in their world the joy's for sure. In the fields where dreams take flight, every day feels just so right. From dawn till dusk their laughter flows in a dance that nature knows. In the golden fields they play, making memories each day. Cows and sunflowers tall, nature's canvas we adore, playing games and having fun underneath the summer sun. Baby cows and sunflowers tall, nature's canvas we adore, playing games and having fun underneath the summer sun. Yellow skies and furry friends, joy that never seems to end, chasing shadows through the day till the twilight fades away. Heads so fluffy, hearts so pure, in their world the joy's for sure. In the fields where dreams take flight, every day feels just so right. From dawn till dusk their laughter flows in a dance that nature knows, chasing shadows through the day till the twilight fades away. Heads so fluffy, hearts so pure, in their world the joy's for sure. In the fields where dreams take flight, every day feels just so right.
Okay, so I'm back. I lied. There are no other steps aside from me just going back and forth between the colors and kind of curing in between. So I am bouncing back and forth between all three pieces, having one cure, working on another one, and all of that. I think so. With this, is it possible to paint with UV resin? To an extent. Maybe not how I did it with just the colors that were provided for me. It made it incredibly difficult because I couldn't get the colors that I wanted. The other thing that, like, okay, if you look at the sunflower piece, which is probably my favorite one out of the three that worked, there's more detail in it, but there's more detail in it because the mold itself and the flowers themselves have more detail. I don't think that in doing this, where yes, you could get some shading, you could get a variation of colors, you could get your highlights, your lowlights, and all of that. You're not going to get any precision detailing from this. Like from a distance, I think these look nice, but up close, I think they look like a hot mess, if that makes sense. Um, if you had a room where you didn't have to worry about any UV light coming in and you can work as long as you needed to work on blending and mixing and that kind of stuff, you could probably do a lot better job than I did. Is it possible to do it? Yes. You're not going to get the detail that you're looking for, I don't think. It's just it's too thick. It's you can't get your lines thin enough to actually put precision detailing into it. But for a piece like maybe this one, where if you're looking at it from a distance, it doesn't look too horrible. I did go along the edges of each one of these with the white colored UV resin, and that's just going to give the edge, even though, yes, I know these are white, it's going to, one, it's going to make it shiny like the rest of the piece, like the flowers, and it's gonna add a little bit of shimmer to it because it has that mica, that pearlescence in there. Um, I mean, they turned out okay. I don't hate them, but I don't love them either. So, I don't know. Now, I did take my gold paint pen and just kind of put a little bit more detail in with that, just here and there on some of them. Again, I don't know. I don't know if this is something I would necessarily try again, but I wanted to give it a shot and kind of see what could be done. And I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. That's a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will catch you guys on Tuesday in the next one. Love you. Bye.
Together we belong. In every comment, right? You lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to